And I know I say that every week because every week is a very special episode. Because we got new people, new show, new thoughts, new ideas, and it's a brand new day. This is the day
that the Lord has made.
Clearly, I have a church choir in the house.
Well,
and okay, hook you up. Let me help you out. My name is Chef Ken L. Polk. Welcome to Kinspiration Kitchen, where we are thankful, grateful, and blessed. And I am blessed and beyond grateful today. I'm trying not to cry, get emotional. Too late. Because some of my very best friends in life are on this show today.
Chef.
And two of them are overcomers. They're miracle men.
let's go.
These are my brothers. And it's Men's Health Month. And I'm blessed to have them here in studio. Because they don't have to be here, y'all. And one of my best friends since 5th grade is here.
That's your brother?
I know. And we about to go. We about to have a ball. So, welcome to Kinspiration Kitchen. Woo! Sitting to my right is Pastor Edwin Harris. My pastor.
Let's go.
My friend, my brother.
Yes, sir.
He's the godfather of my children. Since I got back to Chicago, some 24 years ago, it's been a minute. Woo! That's almost a quarter of a century. Jesus Christ. He is the pastor of St. Mark Missionary Baptist Church in the great city of Harvey, Illinois. Woo! I got Dr. Clive Alonzo in the house. Who has been a doctor since 5th grade?
Actually, 2nd grade.
I didn't meet him until 5th grade, so I didn't know what he was doing before then, but I guess he was fixing people in 2nd grade. Yes. Yes. My culinary muse, my mentor, my friend, my brother, Chef Dave Blackman is in the house.
Let's go, Chef.
And today he's got on a bunch of blue, but normally we're competing with orange, but it's okay.
I downplayed it just for you.
Yeah, I know, right? And so Dave is going to tell us about some stuff that's going on that he's got coming up for Men's Health Month. And we have a special, very, very special guest who is with his wife. They're celebrating how many years? 36, 37 in July. So you're in 36. 36. Because you're 30. Hey, look, we ain't doing the math. We're going to let them, whatever, 36, 35, 37, somewhere around there. Long enough. 3 decades. 3.5 decades of yes. Not actually.
We were dating 10 years before we got married.
Oh, that's your prom date. High school sweethearts. Wow. I told you it was a special show. So on this last Thursday of the month, we are celebrating Men's Health. We're celebrating. We're not just talking about it. We're celebrating. We're celebrating because we all know some men who are no longer here.
Yep.
That's right.
100%.
Shout out to I lost a friend. His name was Robert Smith. May he rest in peace. And in your own hearts and your own minds, I'm pretty sure you can call out at least 10 names, but we're going to keep it moving. And so in Kinspiration Kitchen, I get inspired to cook things based on who's in the house and what taste they have and what ingredients are available at the market, and that's pretty much what happens. And we also have another special guest who is not a man, but she is a friend, a mentor, my partner in crime, and the brainchild behind Batter and Berries.
Okay.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, it just got real interesting. Dr. Tanya Reeves Richardson. Yes, she made it. And so when I have health challenges, oddly enough, when I look at my phone, I don't know if I have more doctors or chefs.
Catching up. It's even
I don't know if I have more doctors or chefs in my phone. It might be neck and neck. I don't know. But at any rate, I'm blessed to have both of them. And so we're talking about men's health. And I have a bunch of superfoods today that we're going to play with. I have some steelhead trout, which is a fish which is super high in omega-3s and omega-6 fatty acids, which is one thing we're going to use. And so I was like, okay, what else do I want to do? I really wanted to, I'm a steak dude. That would be a mistake today. It would be a mistake today. I'm sorry. And normally I'm frying something. You see the fryer's gone, so I won't be tempted. I also have some sardines. I have some fresh whole sardines, just so we can get some more omega-3s. So it's a tale of two fish. I only got one loaf, so we're going to see what this Jesus trick looks like. So there's that. And then, gentlemen, or anybody else who would like, I also, just for you to drink, I have some green tea, which is really, really good. Really, really good as a beverage for you to drink. Yeah, I see all of the heads going.
also has ginger for inflammation.
Yeah, also has ginger for inflammation. Blah, 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 blah. And then we have some kale, which we're going to turn into a salad. And then, because it's the summer and peaches are in season, I think I'm going to do something with some peaches. And I'm going to play with some olives, and we'll see what happens. But while I'm getting started, they're going to tell us about themselves, and they're miracle men, so they're going to tell you about what miracles they have overcome and what the Lord, I'm just going to turn it into a testimony service. Look what the Lord has done. Pastor, what has God done for you? Well. Pass the mic. Yeah, we're going to pass the mic. There we go.
Wow. First up, huh?
First up to bat. Short version. He alive.
There you go.
He's
All right,
here.
your turn.
So here's the thing. He's going to start talking. I'm going to jump in and tell you what I'm doing. So we always start off with whatever's going to take the longest. Now, I'm sorry. Before you get started, we got to vote. We got to vote, people. It's not that deep. Not that deep. Well, actually, we kind of voted already, didn't we? We had a pre-decision while I was at the market. I was deciding whether I was going to go with lentils. Deciding whether I was going to go with lentils or beans, because both are really, really good for men. Well, they're good for anybody. It's just lentils or beans. So we're going to have to take one of those Democratic votes. We already got one vote for black beans, black. We got one vote for black beans or red lentils. And so I got a bean, I got a lentil. What say you?
Let's do the lentil.
Lentil?
Lentils.
You got to vote. Come on, America, you got to vote.
I'm neutral. I'm Switzerland.
Oh. Well, fine. The wife will have to vote for you.
Oh no, the pressure.
You under pressure. Imagine my problem.
I love black beans.
All right. So the way it works in my house,
Okay.
the way it works in my house, if you come down to a decision where there's either or, I get both.
Okay, that works.
So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how this works. All right. And if that's the case, I need to get these lentils going now. So that case, Pastor Harris, tell us what the Lord has done for you.
A whole bunch. They told me keep it short. So.
Your wife told you to keep it short.
Get the mic. Tell your story.
All right. So from a health, because so many things ran through my mind when you say what has he done for me. But I'll start with the health part. So in 2019 is when I found out that I had prostate cancer. So I found out the first week of June. So leading up to it, I just noticed that things were not, urine wasn't doing what it normally does in terms of it was extras, and erections weren't what they normally were. And I'm like, okay. And I remember telling my wife on June 1st, before I went to the Hampton Ministers Institute, the conference rather, in Hampton, Virginia, I went to the doctor for my annual checkup.
Notice he emphasized the
annual checkup.
Why you emphasize that? Are you trying to tell us something?
I sure am. Because
What he's trying to say is we don't go to the doctor, y'all,
And we
especially
need
not
to.
annually.
No, not men,
Yeah.
especially.
And I need to say this. That's really important for me because I'm not sick. Like I'm not diabetic. I'm on no medications.
You don't even catch colds.
But I still knew it was important to go to the doctor annually. And so I went that morning, on that Monday morning, early in the morning, caught my flight. So when I got my numbers back on that Tuesday, all my numbers came back.
What numbers are we looking at? What numbers are we talking about? For the people that don't know.
I took my blood work.
Okay.
So all my numbers from my blood work, from cholesterol, glucose, the whole list. They did a full. So all my numbers came back. Checked my chart, but there was one number I was looking for that wasn't included in my numbers, and that was my PSA.
And what is PSA?
It is.
Prostate-specific antigen.
Is there a doctor in the house? Yes, there is. I made sure we had doctors who can answer these questions.
Yeah.
And
So it's a number that tells you where your prostate, levels are, and my numbers came. No, I'm sorry. So that Tuesday I was waiting for it. I didn't get it. So I told my wife if I don't see them by Wednesday, we gotta make a phone call. And so that Wednesday morning, I got the phone call. So the hospital called me and told me that they were 8.5 and that you need to reach out to your urologist, Dr. Seeger. And I said, well, I know him because my wife, that's her doctor for her kidneys. So I've been knowing him for some years. I said, oh, I know him. Make a phone call. And so that following week when I got back, I went in for the initial prostate check, which is a little invasive.
never mind me, I'm just dicing peppers. There's nothing compared to a miracle.
Yeah. Just a little invasive. I never had a man tell me to pull your pants down and bend over. So, huh?
The rectal exam.
Yeah, the rectal exam is what I got initially. That was on that Thursday.
Tough crowd.
And then, of course, that Monday I did the actual biopsy, which took the rectal exam to the next level. They didn't do an ultrasound. No. They just did the
biopsy after
that biopsy. They went in, took the 10 samples. It's like a staple.
Wow.
Yeah. They went in. Yeah. They told me they got me in the fetal position. Don't move, Edwin. They didn't call me pastor.
You said I don't plan on it. Trust me.
Don't plan. They said this is the worst it's gonna be. I'm like, okay, cool. And that was on the day after Father's Day, ironically. And it was that following week on a Wednesday, June 26th, while waiting for my wife to get to the doctor so we could meet with Dr. Seeker to get the results. I heard the Holy Spirit say to me, you got it. You're healed, but I'm about to take you through the process.
Well,
And so the doctor told me, we sent 3 different doctors, looked at it. It came back positive.
quick question. Show of hands. Are we spicy people or are we not spicy people?
Not spicy.
Not spicy.
Spicy.
Not that spicy. I'm talking about do we like spice? Some. All right, that's fine. I got Serranos. Yeah, I got some Serranos. They're not gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Serrano peppers not gonna hurt anybody. But these, we gonna leave. Y'all get to sit out. Y'all get to sit the game out. Continue.
Yes, sir. So once I heard the Holy Spirit speak, I was good from there. Even though I still had to make a decision because he gave me 3 choices. Either you do nothing.
Oof.
Observe.
Observe, basically. Go for the surgical route or go for radiation. He said, but you and your wife, because as a matter of fact, we were about to go out of town to celebrate our 25th anniversary, which was that July.
Wow. Wait. So how many years y'all in now?
So, and July 16th will be 30. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, so he said, just take your trip. When y'all get back, let's make a decision. So we decided to go the surgical route. I was like, get everything out. I don't want no cancer in me at all. I didn't want the radiation, that whole, yeah. So we opted to go for the surgical route. And the doctor said to my wife during the surgery, she's sitting right over here, this is one of the easiest surgeries I've done because your husband is healthy.
That part. Told you, he don't get sick. I would catch a sinus infection almost every year. two to three times a year I would catch it, well, twice. When the seasons change and blah, 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 I would get a sinus infection. It would take me out for how many days. He would never get sick. So that was the craziest part about it. He just popped up and with cancer. And everybody's like, well, how you? Why you? You know, it's the whole why me thing. Well, everybody's like, why him? He doesn't get sick. And so that's the part that just threw everybody off. And it probably scared a lot of people.
We did, yeah. Yeah, because when I say literally, I can count on one hand probably the number of times I've had like a bad cold. Like I'm just grateful. I thank God for that. Even though since COVID, I didn't call it a couple something. That's a weird. I don't even want. Yeah, we don't go there. We'll leave that alone.
We're not going there. We're gonna stay right over here in the happy land.
So, but no, I had the surgery on August 27th, 2019. Went home the next day. 5 days later, I had a weird moment in the bathroom.
Woohoo!
A weird moment. So I got a catheter in. I go in the bathroom to dump the catheter, and all of a sudden I get this pain. And it hits my stomach, like really bad. And it hits me like 3, 4, 5 times. To the point where I said, because I was trying to call my wife, like, honey, but I didn't have the strength to call her. So after about that third time, I was just like, honey. Because then I said, oh, and I used that word that I ain't gonna say on camera. It's a 4-letter word that starts with an S. But it was like a crazy pain. But it was a crazy pain. And
oh snow.
Right. I told my wife, I said, no, because we called the nurse, we're going to the doctor. And when we finally talked to the doctor who did the surgery, he said to me, he says, no, your bladder woke up. And a bladder spasm. He said,
I love having doctors in the house. They know exactly what it is. They know what it is. They know what it is. They know what it is while you're talking.
Yeah, he said, no, he said, no, your bladder woke up. I saw a foreign object in there. He says, no, you're healing good. He said, we just gonna hope that it doesn't do anything else between now and the time we take the catheter out. Okay. And I promise you all, everything. Now here's the thing: when the Lord said to me, "You're healed."
Well,
I'm sorry, you got it. No, you're healed. You got it. You're healed. But I'm taking through the process. He said, "But I need you to follow the directions of the doctor."
Uh-oh.
I did what the doctor told me to do. I did the Kegel exercises. We was at the show, because you can do it. Nobody knows you're doing it.
Yeah, yep.
And you're no, you didn't. I literally had every 2 hours. I had a reminder on my phone.
Work it out.
I was serious with that. I was minding my business, but my business was minding me because this was too important. And so when I went to get the catheter out, of course I took my pull-up.
Mm-hmm.
I took my pull-up, and I was bracing for
The worst?
the worst, even though I was really believing God for the better. And I promise you, I still got a couple pull-ups because I never even went through one pack. Wow.
Look at God.
What's it called? Where you leak out every now and then. What is that? Stress, incontinence. So
I was about to say leak.
Yeah, it's a leak. It's definitely a leak if you yawn too hard or if you But I'm gonna be honest, you all. Within a month or two, like literally, I was at a minimum. Like I wasn't having, in that regard, those issues. Now it jacked up my sex life. I'm gonna be honest. But on the cancer side, in terms of me being healthy. Now here's the end. So after the surgery,
In sickness and in health.
11 lymph nodes all came back negative. Wow. From the
Preach.
surgery. When I went that December, my numbers, I can't remember what my numbers were. What were my numbers? Whatever. Oh no, my numbers are .11. They were .11, and what the doctor said is, look at them like money. So it's like you got 11 cents. We're gonna bring you back in 3 months and let's see where you're at. Well, I went back right before COVID because that was March. It went from 11 cents to 22 cents. Then in June, it went from 22 cents to 33 cents.
You trying to get back to $1, or we trying to get less money? I don't.
No, you don't want to get. You want to go down. And so we opted to do low dosage radiation. So I did 8 weeks, low dosage radiation, 5 days a week, going to the hospital. And outside of one time that my mother was in the emergency room, other than that, we went every single day in pain. Because by that 3rd week, what I learned that I did not know, and I know he gonna test to this, I did not, because where the radiation was, what you ate was critical. And so foods, I couldn't eat too many fibers. They didn't want you to have diarrhea, but they didn't want you to be constipated. They didn't want you to be constipated. They don't want you to, and say, I'm a Raisin Bran guy. No, they said no. So I was trying to find a balance. And there was one weekend where I came home, I wasn't thinking. I had a cheese pizza.
Uh-oh.
I had broccoli and cheese soup. I wasn't in any pain. I was grateful. I done a funeral, one of them funerals for a kid. I just came home. I got me something to eat. And that was on a Saturday. On that Sunday,
Babe.
my wife cooked. Honey, she cooked. And one of the items she cooked was cabbage.
Oh.
I did not know
Well,
that cabbage
you found out.
was number one with gas.
Oh.
So now I got cheese over here, I got gas over here, and that next week,
Oh, Lord.
You felt that.
I felt all of that.
Oh, Lord.
I felt all of that. But I learned how important it was in terms of what I took in.
Yes.
So I finished my 8 weeks. Thank you. So I finished my 8 weeks of radiation. So now I'm at a place where I go once a year now, and my numbers are leveled off. So they're back down to the .11, .12, and they've been there now 3 years in a row. So God is good.
Brother Dave, talk to us. I'm sorry, let me tell you what I'm doing.
Wait, we gotta
Pass the mic.
pass the mic.
Tell you what I'm doing. So what I'm doing now is I'm cooking 2 dishes at once, whether it looks like it or not. So I've already sweated off my mirepoix and my mise en place. Sweated off my vegetables for my lentils, as well as for my black beans. I think I'm gonna do some black bean cakes. Is that all right?
Yes.
Right. She said yes. And so now I have garlic in the saute pan, and my lentils are gonna go in.
You said black bean what?
Cakes.
Cakes.
Cakes. Not
Like croquettes.
like croquettes.
Okay, all right. Let's say
He's like cakes.
some whole, some smash.
He like I don't want to eat a black bean. How does that? You thinking cake? He was
I thought about a bean pie. I was like a bean cake.
bean cake, my brother.
I never had a bean cake.
You should have made him one too.
Wait a minute. He's
It could happen. It could happen to you on a Sunday. Okay.
Well,
Right.
The strangest things happen when you get inspired, and both me and Dave had the same look. So the craziest thing happens when he and I get together. We just start cooking and playing off of each other's cooking, and planning what we're gonna eat next. And so that's the kind of thing that happens. However, I got a call one day from my brother that said that he was not well.
So
Tell your story, brother.
2021, I went to go get my scheduled colonoscopy. Nothing was wrong with me. I didn't have any symptoms. I wasn't backed up. No blood in my stool. You name it. And I went to go get my scheduled colonoscopy. That's what I was supposed to do when you turn 50. I couldn't get it when I was 50 because of COVID. I was in 2000, but I went 2021. August 24th, I was diagnosed
In case you
with
can't see it.
stage 1 colon cancer. All right, so it sticks in my head. Went July 15th for the first colonoscopy. I had to go get another one. And they said we found a large polyp. We moved a couple of them, we found one that was a certain size. Now my wife quickly goes to, the internet was like, yo, it's bigger than 3 centimeters, that's cancer. And I'm like, no, you know, I'm a man, that's not cancer. You don't know what you're talking about, you know. And I say I blew off, but I didn't want to think, you know, that she was right. In the dark at night when she was sleeping, I looked up, I was, you know, the internet is something. And I looked it up and was like, you know, I might have cancer. But I had to go get a follow colonoscopy. So again, empty out the house, go take the test again, and took a while for doctors to come back and they said, no, it is. They did a test on it. It is definitely, I have colon cancer stage, but it ended up considered stage 1. It says, are you having? What it is, come back later, you meet with a doctor, they'll determine what stage it may be, but they said it might be stage 1. But still, I'm not. All I heard when you said you have cancer, all I heard was that was wrong.
Wonk, wonk, wonk. Turn into Charlie Brown.
The hallway got smaller, and I'm sitting there on the bed. I woke up off that good sleep after that colonoscopy, you know, and everything said go for it. I had to get wheeled down, you know, to the car. My wife could pick me up, and she looking at me, and she could tell something was wrong with my face from the jump. And I learned that. So, you know, as a man, you go through a lot of emotions. I went through anger and just crying and laughter and doubt and what's wrong with me and why me? Now I know, you know, I'm overweight. You know, I eat well, but I thought that's another reason. Fat, that's the reason I got it. You know, or am I eating processed meats? Again, I go to the internet, and the internet said this is right. You could have that. I'm eating cheese and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know. Fact is, I got it. And now what am I going to do about it? So, had our meeting with the doctor. He says basically, like you said, we could do nothing and we could see what happens. And I'm like, no. Or he says, this is very curable. Have an operation. Okay. We remove about 12, he said remove about so many inches of your colon. And, you know, if it's not affecting the lymph nodes and everything, you won't have to do any sort of chemo, and you'll be cured. It says it's a curable thing, and he said that from the jump. But I was first going, wow, are you ready to put something in?
I am.
Hold on.
What's in the lentils right now? What's in the lentils right now is my mirepoix. I put some thyme in. What I'm gonna put in now, because I have red beets, because I have red lentils, I'm gonna put some red beet juice in. Some beet juice has got a little bit of orange juice in it. Right?
Okay.
So it's gonna make them really, really red and vibrant.
Ah, nice. Right.
Because beets are a superfood.
Superfood. Right. Got a cake. Right.
So this is the whole
So-
point. We're gonna
so-
get in there.
The thing is, I went ahead and I did exactly what the doctor said, you know, what I had to learn how, number one, was how to be still. 'Cause now I'm gonna lay in the bed after I had my operation, and you know, I had to get all those shots in my lower legs, and I had to get like 60 shots every day. My wife gave me those shots for my blood, so I don't have blood clots.
Shout out to the wife.
Shout out to my wife, okay? You know, one morning I'm like, I'm gonna buy you a car. She was like, you just high, don't. It's
car?
right. It's the drugs talking to you. I was like, yeah. You know, took my medications and stuff like that. Realized I do not like gabapentin, but I dealt with everything I had to deal with. And I can say that I am a survivor now. You know, so November 4th. Thank you. That November 4th is another date that sits there when I got the call from the doctor that nothing was found in my lymph nodes. You know, they did the biopsy on it. They, you know, took it to, and it's all good. The test is fine. And so I still have a healing journey because I still have, you know, I had lipo sticks stuck in my stomachs. Like I got shot 6 times and cut down here. So I still had to deal with the rest of that month and a half of healing. Now, during my healing journey, I still want to know why, or, you know, again, why me? And so I had a lot of time just by myself in the house every day. You know, my wife went to work. You know, my kids were at school. I'm just home alone. So, again, the internet, looking up stuff. But I found a group I thought would be a group that can help me heal. Maybe find other people that are colon cancer survivors or advocates, and I joined this group via Facebook has the Meta World, lots of different groups, and they were good. They were telling me low residual diet, and you can eat this and you can eat that, and I'm like, I'm a chef, I can make some things, or call my wife, give me a lot of applesauce, let me eat some applesauce, it's gonna be good, So I was doing my thing, and when they got comfortable, it was healing at first. When they got comfortable with each other, then I found out they had a certain kind of political preference for a certain felonious president that we had now. And I realized I don't like being in this room. I'm not comfortable being in this room. January 6th happened, and they were all, this is crazy, and how is this happening? And they're good people, and I didn't feel great around them. So I went to go seek, is there any organizations out there for people of color? Mainly black people, mainly black men. Because during my journey, and you mentioned, I've gone to the doctor every year since my mom died. My mom died in 1998. I was a young adult then, I was in my 20s, but I had insurance. I started going to the doctor every year for my checkups, my exams, and what schedule, and what shots do I need. So I've done that since then. But I learned in my journey, a lot of black men have not been to the doctor since their football exam, when they were 14. There are a lot of black men go to the doctor and it's too late. They're stage 3, 4. These are the many months you have left, sir. This is it. Or they will cut you up and you're going to dangle out, you got a colostomy bag and you're just walking around. We don't go. We don't go because we're men. I always want to get the why. Why are you not going now? And guys have their answers, but but you got to go. If you don't go for yourself, go for me. Go for your wife. Go for your children. And so these are the type of conversations I'm having with black men now about our health and how much it matters, and especially going to the doctors. And so that's what I'm doing now, because I'm a survivor. I consider it to be my ministry. Okay? What is that, Chef?
Parsley.
Parsley. Okay. All-American parsley.
All-American parsley.
Is it curly or flat?
It's flat.
Okay, flat leaf parsley. Looks
Flat
like
parsley.
cilantro, but it may not be. Maybe cilantro
Doing what they
smells
gotta
like
do.
Okay, right. So I found an organization called the Blue Hat Foundation, which is a colon cancer survivors advocacy program for black people. Started by a sister by the name of Candace Henley, who happens to be my soror. She's a Zeta, I'm a Sigma, gotta represent. But and I felt this is a good mix. It's a good match. I was meant to find her, and she was meant to find me. And she's supporting me in my journey of wanting to talk to other black men about our health, having barbershop conversations, talking to other guys.
How receptive have people been?
Huh?
How receptive have they been?
That's been very interesting. I have a man that I looked up to since I was in college, and he came to one of these talks I had, and I didn't know everything he did. If you say, "Hey, Dave, I recommend this," I'm like, "You're right, man. I'll go that direction. I recommend you do this." You're right. He said, "You know what, David? I never had a colonoscopy," and he's 65, 66.
Oh my God.
And because after that talk, he's like, "I'm gonna go. You inspired me to go." I met another person, a husband of someone that we both know. And he said, "You know what? I came to the thing, and David, I'm going to go get my colonoscopy, And, we joke about it. We think, oh, no, I don't want no one playing back there. I'm messing with my behind. It's a procedure. It's not sexual. And if you don't want something invasive, there's Cologuard. All right? But the gold standard is a colonoscopy. Nothing better. I mean, that's looking at things, but it might be too late. And no offense to Cologuard. Cologuard's good. It has its purpose. But if you can do the gold standard, I highly recommend doing the gold standard. Go get your colonoscopy. All right, men 45 and up. Also, another thing I learned during this healing process is we, as black people, we keep secrets.
Man, do we?
I learned of my aunties who had sicknesses and never discussed it. I learned about people on my mom's side who've had cancers. Now, I don't really have conversations with my mom's side of the family. They're white, and it's a long story. It's a whole other situation. But I learned that from my auntie who told me about their history. We sit and go, okay, and no offense, Reverend, we're going to let God's going to handle this. Now, understand, we're prayer too. But God also helps people become doctors.
That's right.
Not everybody's going to be a doctor. Some people are going to be chefs.
That's right.
All right, some people can lead them to salvation. But he also helps people have the mental capacity to become doctors. So that's what I say. So, yeah, pray is good. Pray, yes, do that. But also, that person is given a gift to do what they do, and they do it well. All right? Dr. Richardson was rattling off all sort of things to us, okay? So I say that much. People go, I'm not going to go. I know some people who died because I'm going to pray. And I'm like, if they told you you got it, then you need to do what the doctors say. Just don't go run to church, you know. So that's another thing that I also learned about us as black people. The secrets or not wanting to the doctor. Also, we talk about medical apartheid, distrust of the medical field, that they're always trying to get our insurance money and stuff like that. And we remember what happened during the Tuskegee experiment. But if you
None of
don't,
that is deniable.
no.
However,
But if you don't trust your doctor, go get another
get
doctor.
another one.
All right. I had a exam recently, and the doctor asked me, "So, Mr. Blackman, how many medications are you on?" And I went, "None." And he looked at me like, "What do you mean?" Now, even though I'm overweight, I'm not on diabetes, I'm not on hypertension, things that you think a 54-year-old man should be on. And oddly, my blood tests don't say I have to be on it. And she reached up and got my stuff and was looking like, that's impossible. Now, part of me was offended. Now I'm offended now. Because I'm like, the first question you ask me is, what am I on? Not, am I on anything? Or,
What
you know,
are you on?
what am I on? You can start, the default is you're on something. You know, I come in now, you know, I have some hip pain. I have arthritis from standing all my adult life as a chef and being overweight. You know, I got to deal with it, okay? But that was our first question. It wasn't about, how's your hip? You know, I'm like, how about, can I get a new hip? You know, please, you know, stuff like that. But one thing I learned about this whole journey is there was trauma that I received when I got my diagnosis. There was trauma leading up to the surgery.
Wow.
There's trauma that's post-surgery that I had to deal with, that I know other black men had to deal with. So another thing that I'm starting in my fraternity and getting support from them is a directory of, there's other men that have had what I had or are still fighting the fight, and can they talk to other brothers that will get diagnosed in the future? Because it will happen, and these numbers are such. So I now am working with we're calling it a Sigma Cares Foundation group, in which there's going to be something. You have prostate cancer, here's a brother that can talk to you about exactly what you had and talk you through it. Because I can tell people, I have colon cancer, you'll be okay. How do you know? You know, you didn't have what I had, but to talk to somebody that had what I had, I can tell you that was the most comforting thing for me, okay? Shouts out to my wife, who...
Shout out to Shell.
Yeah. she was my care provider, you know, and has cleaned up after me many and many times. I'm not going to get into the details of a pastor did, but it was a lot, okay? And getting used to the new me. The foods that I'm learning about foods I can and cannot eat, or I can eat a little bit of, not a lot, you know, because my body's different.
Man.
But the main thing is I'm here.
So, what can you not eat? I mean, let's talk about food.
Well, you know what? I'm still learning that, Ken. I'm thinking large amounts of soy, so that's messed up. I don't know if I can eat a lot of sushi and how I'm gonna feel the next day. I noticed that after eating a lot of sushi, the next day, I don't want to be physical. Let me lay around, but do not ask me to go pick stuff up. It's like gout. My joints, they get inflamed, and I'm like, something's wrong. I know, but I'm like, to me, and you know how much I love.
Here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. Because when I'm the kind of person that when my friends are sick, I'm sick. When they get something, I got to figure out what we got.
Right.
Am I the only one? Like, what we got? You know. So it's like, okay. So then you go to the internet. You go down the internet black hole, and they tell you what you should be eating and what you shouldn't be eating.
Right.
Even to prepare for this show, I'm looking at, okay, what should I be preparing? What should I not be preparing? Mm-hmm. You know, and then everybody's got their list of what you should be eating and blah 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 blah. And soy was on one of those lists of stuff people you should be eating. Like you should increase the soy or whatever the case. I thought I was loud enough.
You kind of are,
I'm kind of loud enough.
Gotta pass a lot of
Pass the mic around. All right, but anyway, and so soy was on that list. But then we've also been told as men that we shouldn't be messing with soy to begin with because it messes with us.
Well, everybody's body's different. We're all
Wait. We all different.
Yes, we're
No,
all
we not. We all the same person.
We're all different. I learned as a scuba diver. Okay, everybody's body is all constructed different. Okay, and how you make
Salt and pepper.
eat is going to be different. What we eat and how we absorb stuff is different. Now I learned all that during my process, and I'm still learning. You know, and we're all still learning. But that's my thing. But what I learned and what I'm doing with it now, the knowledge I have is now, let me see if I can work with other people about it. Let's talk about awareness. Let's talk about advocacy. So if you have young men in your lives that are turning 45, talk to them about this. Talk to them about getting their prostate exam, getting their colonoscopy. If they have cancer that runs in their family, or have conversations with their family. Mom and dad might not have told them. I told my children. It runs in the family. Now they have the conversation with God. You go get your colonoscopy at 30 now. They don't have to wait until 45.
If you have it in your family.
Right. Glaucoma, things like that. Black men suffer from prostate cancer.
Run it. That was my next question, Doc. Like, what do we need to be concerned about? What as black men or men in general, but black men, us, because we're dying at disproportionate numbers. Is that correct?
Yes.
So what are we dying from? Oh, this is it's a heavy show. I'm gonna make these black beans light.
As a testament to these two brothers right here, these two survivors, I just thank God you guys are here, because I think the major thing that got you sitting here right now is that, one, God, but two, your compliance with the doctor. You listen to recommendations, you follow through with the screening, you went to the doctor every year. Close to 60% of men don't go to the doctor every year, or regular follow-up. So, you were doing all the right things, because, I always say that good health is your greatest wealth. And part of that good health is prevention, okay? So
The prevention is worth of what?
a pound of cure, yeah. So, with you, I don't know if you have a family history of prostate cancer.
And I think it's interesting,
He don't know.
that right there. So when I went to the doctor and they asked me about your history, now I could answer on my mother's side, but it was like a punch, because my father was killed when I was 14 years old. He had one brother, my uncle, and he passed shortly a couple years after that. I don't know anybody literally on my father's side, so I didn't have that information available to me.
Okay.
Like I may not necessarily have on my mother's side, Right. And that was the thing I learned.
Yeah.
So, but we keep secrets. And that's something I learned. I'm pretty sure other races do, but I'm only focusing on us. Yeah. And we do keep secrets. Mama got the sugars. No, she got diabetes. Let's talk about that. Now it's a history in your family. Yeah. So when the doctor asks you, say that, because they're going to test towards that. But a lot of us are too proud. But yeah, that's what the whole thing is about. Is about this helps me cope and deal with my trauma, because still to this day I deal with a post-surgery trauma. Healing. My son having to see me when I was at my weakest point. It's like, hey, I'm supposed to be the man in the house. He's like, I help you, Dad. And I'm like, okay, and having to be humble. All right. So it really
That part.
did a lot for me. So that's my journey. That's my story. But now, what I'm doing with it. This Saturday, as a matter of fact, if I can give a quick PSA. Thank you. This Saturday, with the Blue Hat Foundation, is a free men's health event. It's going to be at Next Men Up Spa on 43rd Street, down the street. I'm actually going to be catering the food there. Men can get chair massages, facials, some other things that are on the menu. But we're also going to have a discussion about men's health. So it's open. The link,
down the street.
I'm pretty sure you can put on the bottom of the screen, I suppose. You can type it up. But it is, spaces are limited, but there's definitely going to be an event this Saturday. So that's the next thing we're doing. But we're going to be filming that for my barbershop series among men talking about our health. Because that's what it's going to be. And it's going to be something that we'll be launching on YouTube. So that's happening this Saturday.
I need a joke right about now.
You need a joke. I mean, it's serious. It's
Joke,
heavy.
right? No bar. I ain't talking. I normally do musical references, but I ain't got none today. I'm just.
God did it.
Yeah. There you go.
That's one.
There you go. There y'all go.
I mean, understand, kid. Everything's light and everything, but sometimes you gotta say we gotta get real.
Man,
You know, and not to be dark, but this is real stuff.
But this is,
You know,
but the reality of it is, we're dying.
we're dying. You know, and the thing is, when guys joke about, oh yeah, man, I feel like I got raped. You didn't. Stop joking about it, because someone else heard that and they're like, I'm surely not going now. You know, oh, I'm greasy. What? Oh, I'm not going. You know, no, they gotta go. And we have to be grown. We gotta start acting our age and not our shoe size when it comes to talking about getting screamed. All right.
I'm still in that.
But I mean, but everyone was a joke about it. There's nothing to joke about this. Women, they've been indoctrinated into health, taking care of their health since they were young. Because they have to get so many doctors when their bodies change. They have this doctor for this. They might have 3
All
or
we
4
got is
doctors.
coach.
All we got is coach. And coach, if we got coach, and coach is telling you,
If you got coach. If you don't got
yeah,
coach,
right.
who you got?
But all he tells us about how to maybe put it on correctly. And that's all maybe coach told us. And then go put your jock strap on. That's all coach told me in high school. And then that's it. The doctor said cough, and then go play football. That was my doctor's exam. Nothing else. He put a little stethoscope on my back, on my chest, did some tapping here and there, and then throw me in the field. That wasn't a real exam. So going to your doctor, getting your exams, getting your vaccinations, keeping your schedule is what we need to be doing. And you need to find out, what should I be doing at 30? What should I be doing at 35? What should I be doing at 40? What should I be doing at 45? What is my history in my family? And having that discussion and being forthright about it. Plain and simple. You only got one you.
Only one
And
you.
you need to be here for
And
other
do you- and
people,
do you
not just for
wanna be in the
yourself. Other
hospital?
people should be here. And you want to be in the hospital.
I'm like, I had a cook. Well, I don't care. I'm gonna put him on blast. I had a cook who ended up with he's like, I got this lump in my throat. Oh, okay, lump in your throat. I got this lump in the throat. I'm like, but you still smoking. My best friend passed away from esophageal cancer. But he didn't smoke. So it's like, well, how you? Nobody knows. But he did not have the support like some other people have, because at the very same time, another one of my classmates got diagnosed with the exact same thing, esophageal cancer. It's a tale of two lifestyles. One made it. He had a very healthy support system. Wife, his whole family went vegan. In both states, like the whole family went vegan. And he went out to Arizona, wherever he went to some clinic, and blah, 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 he made it. My best friend did not make it. And I was carrying him back and forth. I would, carrying him back and forth to the doctor visits and blah, 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 blah. I was his caretaker, yada, 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 yada. And he did not want to be taken care of, but he needed it. And so like we talked about, like you guys talked about compliance, it's like he did everything, but he didn't want to do anything. Yeah, he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it, but he did what he had to do, and he had around who he had to have around. But that was tough, And so, so we talked about colon, we talked about colorectal, we talked about prostate. What else do we need to be worried about? What else is
Heart disease. Heart disease is the number one killer of Americans. Kills about 800,000 people. And heart disease includes not just blockages in the heart. You also worry about arrhythmias, like atrial fibrillation is common. Congestive heart failure is one of the most common diagnoses. that come into the hospital. You know, I work in the hospital. I also work in outpatient, and and a lot of it, again, it's linked to compliance or non-compliance, I should say, and then it's the silent killer, hypertension.
So here's the thing: compliance and not compliance. It's so much information, misinformation. Mama said, Daddy said, kind of information.
I think it's a combination of multiple things. It's people getting misinformation. They're listening to family members, they listen to friends, telling them, oh, don't take that blood pressure medicine. It's going to cause this side effect. Or, that's the biggest resistance I find with my patients, or just people in general, when it comes to medications. They worry about side effects, or they worry, which is a reasonable concern. But you got to weigh the risk versus the benefits.
Side effect or the end of effects.
I actually had quick story. A young man coming to the hospital last week, in his late 20s. His mother told me that he had not been on blood pressure medication for 3 years. He was diagnosed 3 years ago, but he chose not to go on the blood pressure medication. So he comes into the hospital short of breath, and he got to the point where we did the X-ray. His lungs were full of fluid. So he had what they call pulmonary edema, and his blood pressure was one of the highest blood pressures I'd ever seen. It was 280 over 160.
Wait, what?
280 over 160.
Blood pressure.
Yes.
Man, I
So,
thought I was shooting my little 52 over.
so
I was
short.
messed up my little 52 over whatever it was. I was like, well, run that again.
So shortly after he was seen in the ER, he had to be intubated or placed on a ventilator to help support his oxygen and placed in the ICU. So, it's just to say, you really got to know your numbers. You got to know your blood pressure. You got to know your cholesterol. You got to know your blood sugar, your hemoglobin A1C. You got to know your PSA.
You got a whole
and the
list
pro-
of stuff we supposed to know.
you got to know your numbers.
So just like athletes know their times, right?
Yes.
What's your quarter mile? What's your this? What's your, but there's a lot of people that's not athletes. So, as chefs, we were taught you're only as good as your last dish. Nobody cares what you did last year.
Yep.
Am I lying? Nobody cares what you did. Nobody cares what accolades you got. It don't really matter. What are you doing now? And so for me, my dad had colon cancer. But he had a whole. My dad is like I don't know how he's still alive. God, he's a miracle man, literally. And he's literally a miracle man. And so when he got diagnosed, we kind of took it with a grain of salt because of the life that he lived, but that doesn't negate that he had it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so, my brother and I, my sister, we all went, and everybody had to go get checked just to make sure we would be all right. But it's a hard pill to swallow, knowing that it could be you. It's a hard pill to swallow, and nobody wants. It's like the pill that nobody wants to swallow.
But at the same time, Ken, it's kind of scary when no one else in your family had it and then you have it. That's why I'm saying it's important to advocate for it at a timeline when it's time for you to go and and to learn that there's so many men that I know that I actually look up to that have never been to the doctor and got it. That really freaked me out. I just recently learned about that. So,
Yes. Somebody tell me a joke. Tell me something good. Tell me something good. What?
So I have a question for both the doctor and the chef. How can we alkaline our bodies? Because we're not taught that. We push medicine. But why we not talk about drinking the water, drinking the water, drinking in the water, all that, drinking water, drinking water, period. That starts there. A lot of people just don't, I gotta give you a Pepsi or
our diets like all right. It's not green vegetables are cooked half of them.
Not today. They won't be. Yeah, that kale ain't getting cooked at all.
We're eating this daily diet of smothered this or fried that, and I'm guilty of it myself. I ain't gonna lie, we're all guilty of it, but our diet's poor. But at least I try to drink a gallon of water a day, a gallon and a half of water.
How successful are you, brother?
I'm successful. I drink a lot of water. My family drinks a lot of water. My wife and I talk about how we have soda in the house that expires. Our kids do not drink water. They don't drink. I mean, they don't drink sodas. They don't. That's not their first choice. My son walks around with a big jug of water. My daughter drinks a lot of water. My wife drinks a lot of water. I drink water. Probably more so since having a family, but that's what I'm doing now. And just being more constant. Maybe eat a salad a couple of days. I don't need to eat. I try to eat in moderation. My wife stays with me all the time, like, David, really, must we eat? And I'm like, okay. But sometimes I'm like, well, give me some things you want to eat. Don't make me decide on it, because I got to think about for people all the time. But that's a whole nother story. But it's our diet overall. If you think about a lot of our friends that we know, if you actually watch how they eat, you got to go, wow. It's our diet. And the food sits in the body. If it's not moving, you don't have enough fiber. If you're not at a certain age, we're not doing Metamucil. We thought that was for old people.
Man, listen.
Hey, you're at a certain age. It's time now. Drink a cup or two a day. You got to keep stuff moving.
At what age did you start reading labels and trying to figure out how much more fiber you could get?
To be honest,
Reading the labels, like, how much fiber? This ain't got enough fiber.
Right.
This ain't got enough fiber.
But I would say, as a man, that a lot of men that are married or have a girlfriend or a mother that's constantly on them, so I wouldn't care too much about it if it wasn't for my wife again. She's always like reading labels like, yeah, nah, I don't know about this, and I'm like, okay, look at these corn chips, and I'm like, and I'm feeling guilty, what, she's like, going to eat them, no, eat them if you want to, and I'm like, that's what I get, go ahead, eat them if you want to. Well, I ain't eating those things, and I'm like, okay, but still, I started reading labels more, and I tell people, I'm a chef, I make food taste good. I'm not a nutritionist. I would go to a hospital and be like, I'm just here with the nutritionist, I'm going to help make the styrofoam taste good.
Right,
okay,
that
that's all I got for you. So she gave me styrofoam, but I could put this to it, and it follows the dietary rule. Here we go. And I could do that. But for myself, I could say I'm guilty of it. I like laminated dough. I like tarts and pies. And maybe too much of it. But these are things that I got to confront. But like I said, I'm learning how to eat better, and I'm also learning what inflames me and what doesn't inflame me. So these are all new discoveries during my journey. It's my journey now. And
You talked about it too, Pastor. You talked about, your diet changed. Talk about your diet change. What changes did you have to make in your own diet? aside from slowing down on the Haagen-Dazs.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be.
Only this month.
I'm gonna be honest. And I'm sitting over here, and my brother talking. We the same age, and there's a level of conviction sitting here. One of the things and this is, y'all pray for me. You praying for me, a musician? Because sugars is, again, we dealing with cancer. Sugars are not, that's a problem. And so that's something because Sweets and me, man, we have real good friends. Like we real good friends.
All of that.
Right. And I think, so, and I'll be honest with you, once my numbers were like the same every year, I was like, oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm good. But is that really wise? And so I got to pump the brakes and say, no, I need to. So literally, I took the whole month of June, and I've been easing up on the sweets. No, because especially, cakes and pies and Haagen-Dazs. And, I'm not I like chocolate, but I'm not a huge chocolate, person. But definitely when I was really going through the radiation, that whole season, my water has increased. That's for sure.
Yay.
And so that's really important. But I think the sugars was a big thing. Cancer, anyway. Cancer and sugar are like good little friends. And so I'd say, you know what? Let me pull back on that. But I will admit, when them numbers start getting right, yeah. When them numbers got right, them cookies got attractive.
Let's be real honest. I'm the baker. I can't control the sugar.
Yeah,
So
but
you just don't make it as sweet.
yeah,
Now, I don't
but when
control
she ain't baking,
Right.
when she sleep, and I'm eating fig bars and
Sound like a rat next to the bed. What are you doing?
right.
So
Oh,
for me,
man.
the number one thing I have to worry about is my weight. 'Cause I can't wait to eat. I can't wait to cook.
There's your joke, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there it is.
Right,
I can't
right,
wait to eat.
right.
I can't wait to cook. I mean, and so I've had to put myself. So I would walk into the restaurant and they would hand me bacon and potatoes every day. It's quality control. it is. It is quality control because those potatoes got to be right. You understand me?
Hash browns gotta be right.
Them hash browns got to be right, bro. Them hash browns be.
Point, right? So you gotta,
Them hash browns got to be on point.
and bacon gotta be crispy.
Bacon, man, preach.
So what did you just put on the trout?
So on the trout, I put some Berber spice from Demera.
Nice.
Demera's an Ethiopian restaurant. My sister owns it. As a matter of fact, she's coming to this area. I'll let her tell that. Can't nobody tell her like she can. But that's a Berber spice. It's not going to be too spicy. It's just going to be nice and. There we go. Okay. That is steelhead trout.
I had tried it all.
Steelhead trout. Very, very high in omega-3s. So when we talk about fish and we talk about where they came from or where they come from, if you want to get fish, the fish are going to have two kinds of omegas. You're going to have omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. The ones that are going to have the most omega-6s are going to be the ones that come from cold water. They're all going to have omegas, but the ones that are going to have the most are the ones that are in cold water because they develop the most fat. Does that make sense? And so the fat that we get from fish is good fat. And can you speak about what else we need to be eating? Obviously, leafies.
Fruits and vegetables really need to be a staple of our diet, like nutrition. That's something that I remember in a 1-week course of nutrition, talking about vitamins and minerals. We're actually talking about what foods can be used or conducive in helping for certain diseases. We didn't get that kind of training. So I think that's something that really needs to be incorporated in medical education because that's part of the prevention aspect. What you're consuming, what you're putting in your body. Because I really look at health, eating healthy food, exercising. I look at that as health investment.
A health investment.
Yeah, health investment.
Okay.
We
Did you coin that?
I might call the patent office. But, we buy stocks, we buy real estate and for our financial health, but we don't focus on our physical health, So like when you're eating foods like this, fruits, vegetables, foods high in omega-3s, high fiber foods, that's like we're putting it into our health bank, and we're building that up. But when we're smoking, drinking alcohol, eating high sugar foods, things like that, high fat, bad fat foods like trans fats and things like that, we're decreasing our account. So it's really, it starts with this right here, what you're doing right here. That's where it starts. And drinking water, avoiding those sugary drinks and things like that. So yeah, that's key.
So you got the event coming up Saturday.
Not gonna make a fool blunt with those heads.
No, I got plenty more heads. I got a freezer full of them. Fish heads, jolly fish heads. I got a whole freezer full of stuff to make stock with. So sometimes you just gotta know when to let it go.
You gotta let it go.
It looks like another love TKO. I gotta let it go.
Hey, Chef, I didn't realize our sardines came so big. I'm used to sardines in the can.
Yeah.
So
Cool. So when they're in you get the baby ones in the can.
Okay.
So yeah, these are full size. So when we talk about the diets, right? There's the Mediterranean diet, but nobody talks about the African diet.
The African diet?
African diet.
Okay.
Which is,
What's that
which is
composed
the
of?
founder of the African diet. I mean, the African diet founded the Mediterranean diet. Everything comes from the East.
Yeah, so we got him nice and seared.
Ow! Flip that thing, Chef, flip that thing! Oh!
him nice and seared.
Nice, nice.
I'm gonna get these little fellas seasoned up as well. Get them rinsed out and seasoned up because they're not gonna take as long.
Now, are they salty and have lots of like little baby sardines, or?
They're not salty. Well, they came from the sea, so they're gonna have sea salt. But other than that, they're not as salty because they haven't been cured. So I'm just gonna take this out. They haven't been cured and/or preserved. So what I'm gonna do with these is I'm gonna put a little bit of that lemon oil on them. Put a little bit of that lemon oil on them. Okay, that's a little bit. There we go. Lemon oil, just some simple salt, and some pepper. And what am I looking for? A little bit of ancho pepper. What's the question?
You already cleaned them all that? You going for it? I'm learning.
Yeah, you just section into the guts off the butter. Okay, so that's it. Okay. All right.
That happened. So there we go. And then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I needed one more. We're going for all of them. You're all going in there. Waste not, want not. There go your fish heads. So happens when you gotta move. Move it, chef.
So Chef, I got a question for you.
Yes, ma'am. For who? For Clive?
And the other chef. So, I work with homeless individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a young man who is 26, who has never been to the doctor. He
Yeesh.
does not have, he never had his shots. And now is a dad of a now 4-month-old who they don't want to give the baby the shots.
That part.
So I'm listening to you talk about the men and how do you talk to him? The baby happens to be a little girl though.
I put the information out there. I mean, it's like you were a trainer and you told me if I want to get a six-pack and I got to do all these sit-ups and push-ups and I got to do planking and stuff like that. You gave me the instructions. If I try to follow them, you can only give him the guidelines of what he can do to be a responsible parent. He has a certain belief, obviously, in something, and I don't know if anyone gets to the bottom of it. I mean, it'd be great if he had a social worker that can communicate and work with him. But you know, to not want to do that for your children, that's a lot. You know, and it's borderline abuse. He has to be real careful when it starts to come to public schools and they find out that this kid isn't getting the proper health care that is required when he has to go to she has to go to a public school. It can get him thrown in jail. So these are the type of things that you can start with that discussion. But it's hard, I mean, because like I say, people can give you advice. You choose to take it, you choose to not take it. And a lot of guys are doing it. If a lot of guys are doing it, what's stopping you? That's the only thing I can say.
Yeah, I think that's key. It's just really just getting the why. You know, asking them why didn't he get his shots? You know, why? What's his reason? I mean, that's the key because we could talk to him blue in the face, but.
Yeah, so we've had that discussion, and one was a little bit of what they believe, but the other one was simple. I know people had their shot, and they crazy right now. So I just don't want to I didn't get mine, and I don't want my baby to have mine.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to be crazy, quote unquote. And the shots is probably the last thing I would think of. You know, so yeah, that's a tough, thing
Tough
to
to
row.
Molly, huh?
Yeah.
But sooner or later, because he has a child,
Yeah.
and if this is something that he's putting, I don't know, it has to be. I'm not a pro when it comes to the situation with homeless. My wife is more of a pro. You can talk to her about it maybe off camera, not to bust her out, but that's what she does. So I don't know, but I would think down the road that it's going to affect him when it comes to, again, going back to the public schools. If this kid isn't getting the services that he gets, that's could be considered abusive. Maybe. I don't know. But I really don't know. Okay.
And then there were tomatoes.
She asked.
She did. No. I get it. I understand. Well, keep in mind, you know, I taught for so many years, and just the amount of stuff you hear,
Yeah.
the amount of stuff you hear, and it's just gut wrenching and heartbreaking. So what I'm about to do now, if it'll fit, and I hope it will, because I've never tried it, I'm gonna put this whole pan in the oven. My little fish, you like that pan? Me too. That's why I got. I was like, give me that. You come here now. Come here now. Is anybody online? We talking to people out there? I don't want to miss them people. There's people online watching somewhere.
Chef Shine J Square Jones.
Oh, LaShawn.
He said, "Where's my invite to the kitchen, chef?"
Check your email, Sean. Check your email. We say it every week. Email us. No, I'm just kidding. So you didn't email me?
Every time somebody asks that question, where's my invite?
Man, listen.
Save me a plate.
All I'm saying is, are we ever going back to Chef EQ?
That's a question you can ask my manager.
Manager, are we ever going back to Chef EQ? Sounds like no. Not the 5th. Not the 5th.
This summer is a bit tight, man. But maybe next summer. Sure.
Yeah, I understand. I get it.
There's a lot of transitioning going on in my work world and everything.
No, this is pomegranate juice. Pomegranate juice. So I'm gonna make a pomegranate vinaigrette.
All right.
We'll make a pomegranate vinaigrette.
Vinaigrette.
I'm gonna make a pomegranate vinaigrette for our kale salad. And our black bean cakes are coming off right about now. Right about now, Funk Soul Brother. There it is. There's my musical reference. He's back. And then I can get started on my peaches. My fish are in, my black beans are coming off. So one thing we talked about the different diets. Americans don't eat as many beans as we used to. We don't eat as many beans as legumes. The reason why is because nobody's at home cooking them.
Right.
And when you go out to restaurants or stuff like that, it ain't the fun stuff on the menu.
Yep. You're right.
And now everybody knows the adage: beans, good for your heart. The more ain't nobody else. Y'all gonna leave me out here? The more you eat them, the what? The more you fart. Yes.
We'll let you be the funny guy.
Yeah. I mean, the more you eat them, you gonna leave me all by myself. The more you eat them. Can you? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can. Let me get a.
He cooking, but he ain't giving us no taste.
Yeah, no, you don't. You ate it at the end. It's not a.
I said taste, I ain't say eat.
Yeah.
Feed me at home, chef.
Kendra,
Appetizer here, you know.
little place, please.
Right.
Supposed to tease your crowd.
That is a tease, don't you? Sights and smells, yes. Yes. No, the little ones in the box. Thank you. Appreciate you. So we got that going in there. We're gonna get some honey from the bear. Honey from the bear.
What type of honey is that, Chef?
Clover. This is plain clover. So it's funny, I was at the store today, I was looking at wildflower. One thing I found out, somebody told me that if you suffering from sinus issues or whatever the case might be, Yeah, if you suffer from sinus issues, which I do, she said one of the best things you can do is either get honey, local honey. Here's why local honey, because whatever is inflaming your sinuses is going to be in it. Is going to be the honey, the pollen, the bees themselves. And I actually posted today about bees and frequencies and how they and how they basically, when a bee lands on the plant has an electric charge. So when the bee lands on the plant, the bee has another charge. So when they land, they cancel each other out. So any other bees are not going to stop at that plant because the plant is basically spoken for at the moment. Like, I'm out of business. Come back later. And I thought, I was like, man, that's some really, really cool stuff that you just would never know. It's coming up. She's getting the plate now. I see you. It's coming. If you don't know how to make a vinaigrette, a vinaigrette is going to be part vinegar, part oil. Vinegar and oil is what makes a vinaigrette. I'm actually going to hit it off with a little bit of lemon oil as well.
It's right there in front of you.
Right in front of rattlesnake.
Tweak, bit me.
I made one today, Chef.
Shut your mouth.
Strawberry.
The plane. I think I have enough. I have to count them. See if you got enough. You want? Oh, you serious? Look at that. How you did? That's exactly what you said, brother. There you go. There you go. I'm not even mad at it.
You gotta get the reaction line. You gotta get the tone. So do men and women suffer inflammation the same?
Oh, hello.
I guess it's,
Hi.
it just depends on the individual. I don't really think it's gender-based per se. It's just really about your genetics, the hormones, things like that. So it's women tend to suffer more from hormonal, diseases in general. But in regards to inflammation, it just really depends. It depends on your food intake, what you're eating, your activity level. There's multiple factors involved.
So when we say inflammation, can we break that down? Because a lot of people don't know what that actually means.
Inflammation is basically you have these chemicals. I guess you could say like cytokines or.
Like what?
That's more confusing.
What you say?
Basically,
It's kind of like a smolder. It's not quite fire.
And that.
Raving disease. But if you were to imagine if you were kind of burning something on that stove, but it didn't catch fire, it would just kind
Like, was
of
that a hint, Doc? No, just kidding.
slowly smolder. And so you can have that kind of slow smolder going on in your body, in your blood vessels, your brain, whatever tissues. But it doesn't necessarily have to catch fire and turn into a raging disease. But that slow smolder can make you hurt, can make you have swelling, make you have stiffness. You can suffer greatly.
So to counteract that, people tell you to get a lot of anti-inflammatory things, anti-inflammatory foods. What I tell people is eat your colors.
Yeah.
And we, as a people, tend to stay away from the dark colors.
Well,
Am I lying, though? No,
I think they stay with the bright colors too. I don't know.
Like what? What you talking about? Willis?
You think they eat the bright colors more than the dark colors? I mean, most of the things I've seen that we eat are dark colors. Just dark.
Brown, fried.
Put collard greens that are dark.
Yes.
dark.
And cook them to death.
Right.
Yes, when people over.
Cook them to death. So I never forget when I was starting my cooking journey, and I say it all the time. When I was starting my cooking journey, people would ask me, "Why can't you just cook? Why you got to cook white people food?"
Is it okay to say the N-word?
You can, yeah.
I had a person say, "Why you cook that new nigga food?"
There you go. Why we doing that?
And I went, "Whoa! I work for you no more. So,
Oh, wow. Not an employer.
well, could have been.
Could have been. I don't work for you at all.
Yeah, so we're good.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start to massage the kale. I got to massage it in.
Break down the cell.
Break down the cells, cellular at the cellular level. So what I did, I also added some spinach to it, and so we just getting all superfoods today. That's what's gonna happen. And so I have some cucumbers in here, which are still high in fiber and water. Only thing I should have got some watermelon, but I didn't. We'll be all right. It's okay. We'll be all right. We'll be okay.
We have our history, right, of overcooking food because we were given a lot of the trash, historically speaking, right? And so you probably had to cook toenails and skin and whatever to death to make something out of it and then over season it to make it taste like something. But as we have come up from slavery, if that's, everyone's here's historical experience, we've done better, so then we can do better. We can learn better. It doesn't mean you let go of chitterlings, but
For the record, I'm not going to be cooking chickens on this show ever. I love them, but I just cannot cook them. I cannot cook them in my house because I refuse to clean them. Now, unless I find somebody's auntie, auntie, grandma, somebody. I'm just saying. But go ahead.
so yeah, just we can do things differently, and it doesn't take away from your experience as a black person. It's okay to be healthier. I don't have to prove my blackness by sacrificing my health.
Amen.
It is real, and it's tough because we want what we want, don't we?
Well, I think, speaking of chefs, that has always been a thing that, I try to make food that's familiar that we do eat, but like twist it up. So I call it like a neo soul food. And so I would do a watermelon salad with feta cheese and things like that. And so with a balsamic reduction vinaigrette and you don't have to always have to, there's other ways of doing it. Or we could do a collard green salad by just shredding up the collard greens and making an Asian vinaigrette with it and some roasted peanuts and, tofu. I mean, red onion, scallions. I mean, you can really go for broke on that type of thing. That's the whole thing. And so why we don't have to eat everything that way? And a lot of times I get people going, well, you don't do soul food. I just go, you know what, I don't. Because I don't want you to go, this don't taste like my mama's or my grandma's, and I get all into my feelings, because, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive. But no, the thing is that is what we're trying to express. I'm trying to express you art. And Chef Ken is expressing art right now to us through his craft. And that's what this is all about, crafted stuff. We don't want to say, I don't want to say the other word right now. Yeah, anyway. But no, it's crafting things, and he's expressing stuff, and it's him expressing something back to us, and us eating it and enjoying it. That's what it's all about. It reciprocates back to him when he sees the head nods and the ums and the ahs and the big eyes and stuff like that. And that's why he's been in the business. That's why I've been in the business. So it's fun, Honest. Oh, yeah.
Ken, you remember?
That's steamy.
Do you remember? Now, I remember when Ken first started 20-some years ago cooking for St. Mark. So he cooked for my wife's birthday one year, and so I ended up telling Bishop Jordan, our pastor at that time, about him. And I don't know, Bishop had something at the house that looks amazing. Okay, well we're gonna go and pray. No. But I don't know if you remember, Ken, he actually cooked, I don't know what it was. Again, going back, old school pastor, all of that historical stuff that we ate that wasn't good for us. But Ken made a meal that wasn't that traditional. Like he cooked, see, he got a flashback now. and it wasn't received well. We thought the food was great. Chicken was,
At the dinner.
it was at Bishop's house, probably 40, 50 people. I mean, it was a big to-do. Something he had at his house. I don't know what it was. Outside, and he set it up real nice, and the risotto and the chicken and the whatever he had, but it was on the healthier side. And so those of us who they wasn't feeling that, because again they wanted the fried chicken, they wanted the sweet potatoes, they wanted the greens, they wanted to, like, his macaroni and cheese is amazing, but they wanted the Now this was how long ago? Well, Bishop, he's been gone for 17. So it's been almost 20 years ago probably when he did that. But then going back to what you was talking is just we were attempting to again move our church into a healthier place, and because we saw, so going back to how did I started going every year to the doctor? Because our previous pastor, who hired me in 2001, no 2000, well he hired me. I started working in 2002, but I watched him be sick, and I watched him suffer, and I watched him, church, equating church with God, as if they're one and they're not. So putting church over everything, as opposed to saying that as the work. I got still taking my temple, but we saw him go through so much, and not eating right, and not eating right, and not eating right, and I made a decision. Watching him go through his journey, I was like, I got to take care of. Now, I didn't know I was going to pastor at this time, even though I was his executive pastor, because he would always go to the hospital, he would bounce back. Go in the hospital, bounce back. So I always thought, he going to be another 20, 30 years because of prayer. But of course, prayer is an act of faith, but faith still requires works. Yeah, so there's stuff we still needed to do. And, but we were, and I appreciated Ken because he stood faithful to his craft, and he blessed my wife and I again. And when he blessed us, I just became a spokesperson for him in our church. Because that was what, 2000?
Man, listen.
2000, whatever it was, 1999, 2000, whenever it was, 25 years ago. Where were you at on your journey in cooking then? When you cooked for my wife and I at the apartment?
I just moved back from ATL, working at the Ritz-Carlton, and nobody here really, I mean, if you knew me, you knew me, but I just moved back. And so my journey was kind of just beginning as my journey. Before that, I was under this chef, that chef, I mean, working at this very, very high-profile place, which my wife could care less about. I have to say that because as men, we tend to put out we tend to put out whatever is advertisable. So the fact that I worked at this high-profile restaurant or this high-profile hotel and blah blah blah, she's like, "What is that?" So I was like, "Oh, better find something else to talk about, buddy," because she could care less about where you work.
You were
She-
trying to win over. She was
I
like,
just yeah, and she got me real good. She got me real good, and she made me.
and not impressed. Right.
Your name on it.
Yeah, she like, yeah, it don't have your name on it. But the reason why I did not impress her is because she did not eat for enjoyment. She ate for survival. My wife would eat the same thing every day. Cereal. Oatmeal for lunch. Oatmeal, cereal, and a smoothie. That's what she's gonna eat because she's a teacher. That's one thing she don't need to think about. So here I come trying to, she like, And so it was, and I'm a creative person. And so my thing is a creator's going to create. And it was probably 10 years before she ate the same thing twice. And that only happened on the challenge. Because she was like, I bet you can't do it. I bet you can't do that again. And I was like, let me remember now because I'm not going to be able to do it again because I don't want to. And so I think at that point, my journey was just beginning. And last time they asked me when did I make it or whatever the case may be, how did I find myself? And I found myself by cooking for people. Because we don't cook in a vacuum. We're always cooks, chefs, we cook for somebody. The food is not going to eat itself. Right? And so that's pretty much how I found it. And so I found out what you guys liked.
He did. You did. I told him strawberries. He came to my house. Now, mind you, back then I was making $2. That was it.
It wasn't your last $2, was it?
It wasn't the last two.
Did you have money?
He came and little cheap little print pan, and we went to the show to see Spider-Man and whatever.
And surprise!
And he had set it all up. I was like, this the real deal here. And I just started. I used my platform, even though it wasn't huge, but. I was like, look, I know somebody. I had no idea where he was going.
All right, well, I'm going to tell y'all what I'm about to do. So what I'm about to do is turn these peaches into a crumble. It's not going to be quite a cobbler. It's going to be more of a crumble, right?
Come on with it, man.
But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send y'all over there so y'all can eat. And if you want to see the rest, you're going to have to join the after party. Hey, you're going to have to join the after party because we've been down this road quite a while. And I hope you learned something. I hope you got inspired. If not, I'm going to tell you what we cooked first. I'm going to bring out all of the heavy hitters, right? I'm going to bring out them bean cakes. We already got the salad out here. And these peaches are going to get tossed with some pomegranate juice, just some more pomegranate juice. Some vanilla, some spices, some honey, because I don't want to use white refined sugar, so I'm gonna use a natural sugar, which is honey. And then I'm gonna toss them with some flour and some olive oil, and it's gonna bake up nice and fluffy. And so you'll see a picture of it later. But for now, I want to get these beautiful, lovely people who have graced my presence and shared with us today, get them fed. And I even got a trick for Miss Bev, who is here. These are my lentils. There we go. Get them fluffed up real quick. Close. Get them fluffed up real quick. There you go, lentils. We got our salad right here. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh no, I got my sardines here. Got my salad right there. Oh, these cakes. I need a plate for them. No, it's a platter. It's a platter that I had. I learned how to make black bean cakes really, really good during one of the many Daniel's fasts that somebody put us on. Somebody put us on and had everybody mad at me. Everybody was mad at me because I could cook stuff.
It was like he ain't fasting. Like, no, you ain't fasting, man.
Like, he ain't fasting. He's not fasting. He's slowing.
I think you
He's
should
in the
see
black
that
bean cake.
Right. He over here eating it.
Yeah. Well,
burger.
not my problem. Not my problem. So we have right here is we have a Kenish. I gotta say my name. It's a spinach kale salad. We have the lentils, which will cook with beets and peppers and such. We got the black bean cakes. We have the steelhead trout, which was Berber spiced from Demerara, and then we have the lemon olive oil roasted sardines with tomatoes and onions. So my friend just got back from Ghana, and she said she was talking about the fish that they just go grab out the ocean. Wow. And so that was kind of part of the inspiration. It's like, okay, we talked about the Mediterranean diet, but I just want to make sure we had some healthy, really, really good food for you all tonight because y'all the bomb, and y'all inspired me.
All right.
And I hope I've inspired you all.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.
I do sincerely hope. And we're gonna get y'all over there because I have a few more dishes in my head that I'm gonna play with for the after party. For the after party. And happy anniversary. And happy anniversary to these two lovebirds. And I hope you've been inspired. I hope you tune in next time to Kinspiration Kitchen on all the platforms. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Kinspiration. And we'll catch us next time. Catch us next time. That's all I'm going to say. All right? And so I'm going to transition this stuff over there. Take all the pictures you like. I'm going to keep cooking. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Until she comes downstairs and be like,